everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lava Pool. I'm your host, Dr. Fidget, and we are returning after, Spring Regionals? Tons of stuff has happened since our last, legit podcast. I know we had our little April Fool's one, and then the On Location, but we're back solid, recording in a decent environment. I'm going to start off introducing our guests. We have, once again, JTK.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo.
And I'm going to ask what your favorite item at a picnic is.
Oh, so we're moving away from hot dogs and pizza, finally?
Well, every time I ask, what your favorite topping on something is, you don't give me an answer and say what you don't like on it instead. So, unless
Fair
you're going to
enough.
go with you want a picnic of just sitting there by yourself with nothing, what do you got?
Cucumber salad. Hands down.
100%? Okay. And then we'll move on to our next guest. We have Zach.
Howdy.
And what is your favorite picnic item?
I'd have to say pretty much any fruit that's brought. I would say a plum or a peach.
I love a good plum. Not a fan of peaches though.
Yeah.
No.
But both are pretty solid in my opinion. I'd be okay with any fruit though.
Okay. Well, next guest we have Shiloh.
Hi, guys.
And what do you like to have at picnics?
I don't go on them very often, but I guess cookies are nice. Also, are we
Cookies.
just going to talk about food all the time from now on?
No, I just need something to ease the podcast into starting. Because if we just go straight to damage calcs, it gets confusing for newer people. They got to know who each guest is, and just saying hi doesn't let them get to know you. But knowing that you like cookies at picnics, that's what people want to know. And rounding out our table, we have Human.
Hi.
Alright, Human. What do you like at picnics?
I just ate some pasta now, but that's not on a picnic. Let's go with that, though.
Pasta at a picnic? What kind of pasta?
I just ate pasta. I don't care.
It would have to be something that you could eat cold, right? Because otherwise, how are you going to get it out there?
Oh, man. Why can't this be a barbecue?
It can. You can.
Barbecue.
There are plenty of parks that have those little grills at them.
Alright, then let's just have a good hamburger.
Hamburger. Solid choice. Alright, that's enough small talk. Let's get back into Pokemon mode.
I was gonna say people are gonna start scouting my food choices at Worlds now or something. I'm scared. It's good.
Oh man, food at Worlds. Actually, no, we talked about the whole full-length episode where we talked about food. We'll just move on to Pokemon now. Alright.
Is there any food at Indianapolis?
Yes, there is. There are. Okay,
My
I'm
love.
gonna blow everyone's mind here, so get ready. You know the Steak and Shake everyone goes to?
Yeah.
There is another Steak and Shake 0.2 miles away from it. It is a 5-minute walk.
Beautiful.
Secret Steak and Shake?
Secret Steak and Shake.
Does it have a
I also
waterfall?
had a secret CVS.
Though I feel like you just ruined the secret by talking about it on the podcast.
They don't know what direction 2.2 miles away.
Exactly. And anyone that was just gonna use their phone to search for Steak and Shake would have seen more than one pop up anyway. So.
Yes,
There you go.
nobody would use their phone to search for Steak and Shake because they already know where it is.
No, not
Or
all
do
of you
they? Ooh.
Most people won't ditch their group for Secret Steak and Shake.
Exactly. Everybody's just gonna go to the main Steak and Shake again.
Which is always packed full of people. There's never room in there. Every time we walked there last year, we had to wait 30 minutes for a table.
We should just
Yeah.
divide up into the two Shake and Shakes so that we're not overcrowding the place.
I don't know. I thought last year when we went to the Hard Rock the first night instead, and we had a giant group, so they just let us straight into the back, and we had that private back room. That was awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
Us and our Nick McCord cutout in the back room of a Hard Rock Cafe. That was
Beautiful Nick.
Classy Magma.
Speaking of Nick, he went and has his play funded now.
That's awesome.
Yes, he does.
Now we just gotta find someone to go tape it so we can all watch it.
Oh yeah.
Or live stream it.
Or live stream it.
Or we can ask him for DVDs.
Oh, that's right. He is doing that DVD thing.
Oh, he is?
That was like one of the Kickstarter bonuses.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, Pokemon, for real this time. Regionals happened.
Did they?
Most of us were at that. Actually, I think all of us were at that. Zach, you didn't win.
No,
What's going on?
I suck. I should probably not go to Worlds anymore. I'm too demoralized. No, not at all, actually. Yep. Lost to Steven, pretty much. It wasn't something I was too ashamed about at all. I mean, I wasn't surprised in the least after how he played me in Fort Wayne. We had a series that went down to pretty much a virtual coin flip, and this time around, he didn't let it get that close. He just he took advantage of his good leads first game, and then he played me really well toward the middle of the second game. That made some huge plays that completely turned the game for him. So it was pretty impressive. And I would have felt really bad if I would have been in a situation where I would have taken a win. So I wouldn't want to take someone's CP after if they played me so well. If I would have got lucky or something, I would have felt awful.
Yeah. Like a week after Florida, I was actually talking to Steven, and he called that he was going to be the one to knock you out of the last regional.
Wow, that's
So he called his shot, and then he made it. So,
nice. Yeah, kudos to him. That's pretty cool.
so what were you running?
I ended up running the same team I ran at Madison last year, except EVs on my Swine, and then I changed up some other spreads. So it was Mammoth Swine, Zapdos, Hitmontop, Tyranitar, Volcarona, Amoonguss. Pretty much, I mean, it was the exact same team. I've ran a core of that I ran a similar team at Fort Wayne. I ran a similar team in one of the international challenges. But I ended up coming back to it because it was like, well, it was a week to go, and I had a team that I liked, but it was too frail for me to like consistently be okay with using it in a Swiss format. So I ended up kind of falling back to my roots, and that I was pretty comfortable walking into that event. At least I just needed enough CP to ensure myself of not having to really go hard at Nats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did that.
Like,
So what was your final placing there?
third place overall. I got second in Swiss, and then I took the torch from Minash, and I got third.
Yeah, because you didn't win, I didn't get third anymore.
Yep.
Your win streak ended, my third place streak ended.
Yep. And my third place in Swiss actually ended as well. I was just one away. I had been third place in Swiss both other events.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to you then. Human, what did you run? Where did you place? Who did you play?
I went to Massachusetts and I got 7th place. I went and ran a new team with concepts that I took from Metabu's old nationals team. I had Cresselia, Rhyperior, Thundurus, Volcarona, Hitmontop, and what was the last? Let me say this again. Hitmontop, Thundurus, Volcarona, Cresselia, Rhyperior, and I'm just looking at my team now because I completely forgot.
What happened?
Okay, Ludicolo.
So with the Rhyperior, was that Lightning Rod?
No, it was Solid Rock.
Okay. I was getting confused as to why you'd run that with the Thundurus, but yeah, Solid Rock makes sense.
I don't really like Lightning Rod on Rhyperior at all because it has such great bulk with Solid Rock. And whenever you use Lightning Rod, you let yourself be 2-hit KO'd by an incredible number of things. Metagross Meteor Mash, 2-hit KO, which is otherwise a 3-hit KO. Earthquake does a lot more damage. And in Sand, Low Kick from Tyranitar, 2-hit KO. And close combats in general.
And that's a really cool idea, just to kind of jump in here, because I honestly like getting everything to a lot of common hits to 3-hit KO me, because then if it doesn't, if you take 2 hits, you can always get crit and still survive, and if something something unfortunate like that happens, you still have a chance to turn the game around because the Pokemon's still alive.
Yeah.
And then also, most people won't use electric type moves if the Rhyperior is out anyways. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if they're using something that has larger type moves, they're probably getting KO'd first.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Rotom W.
Or
True.
a Zapdos that just, I don't know, paralyzes shit with Discharge.
Or Specs Thunderous with Grass Knot.
There's always Protect for that.
There's always a sturdy. No, that's right, Solid Rock.
What I did use was Offensive Thunderous, though, with Hidden Power Ice, Thunderwave, Taunt, and Thunderbolt Electric Gem.
Was it Incarnate or Therian?
Incarnate, not Therian. I've never used the Therian form, actually. Using Incarnate Thunderous plus Helping Hand Cresselia, you can one-hit KO You can one KO other offensive Thunderous, which includes Therian form Thunderous, which I don't know if you saw in my first game against Lemtai. Like for the Nugget Bridge Major. I wanted to use Helping Hand, Hidden Power Ice to one KO that for the Nugget Bridge Major. So I think Offensive Thunderous really has a great niche in the metagame right now.
Oh, for sure.
And it's really underrated. Bulky Thunderous used a lot, but I found it lacking more recently. And probably the weirdest set on my team, though, was my Volcarona.
Yeah, is that the one you were talking about earlier?
Yeah. I used a Timid Volcarona with Life Orb, Bulk, and Quiver Dance, and Overheat. My main idea behind it first started off with the Roost instead of Quiver Dance, and I wanted to use it as a Thunderous counter with Cresselia, Volcarona, Helping Hand, Overheat, 1 KO. But I never really used Cresselia, Volcarona in practice, so after the International Wi-Fi tournament, I switched to Quiver Dance instead of Roost, and setting itself up for a lot of potential 1 KOs with Bug Buzz or Overheat just worked really well on my team, and I really liked it. So yeah, I went and played a fair amount of players. Ben in Top Cut, Matt the round before Top Cut, Unreality I think round 5, Shinko round 4, the Zero Virus in my very first round of playing, round 2.
Oof.
Lots of people. A lot of games came down really early to the first turn or two, though, because after that you could see how the game was developing, and that really I either won or lost at that point.
Yeah, it sounds like your team was built to just take out something right off the bat, turn 1,
Yeah.
and then clean up afterwards.
Yeah, normally if I don't take it out turn 1, I normally try to set up early on enough, or just force a situation where my back 2 can sweep through the rest of their team. So a lot of games I feel are won or lost turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 at the latest, and then the rest is just, can you play it out like you want? That's pretty much how my team played. Do his damage, make sure I can still do the damage by taking a hit, and have a lot of sweeping potential. Volcarona, Thunderous, Rhyperior, Cresselia, and Ludicolo just bulking things. That's pretty much the strategy behind my team, and I really liked it. I've still been playing with it, and yeah, I might make some changes sooner or later, but right now, it's fun.
Good. Awesome. Alright, I guess we'll move on to JTK. You were also at Massachusetts. What were you running?
So I ran the same team that I ran for the International Challenge, which was basically a Trick Room Rain hybrid with Dusclops, Politoed, Kingdra. Wow, I should know this. Oh my god. Dusclops, Politoed, Kingdra. I'm gonna cheat and pull up my team sheet real quick.
Okay.
I am really sorry. Wow.
That's fine. We can.
I know the feeling.
Okay, next up we have Shiloh. What did you run?
I forget my team too.
Fantastic.
Wait, I have mine.
Okay. Great.
Dusclops, Hitmontop, Politoed, Kingdra, Metagross, and Amoonguss. So, the basic strategy behind it was, if they didn't have Trick Room counters, Trick Room. If they didn't have Rain counters, run Rain. And if they had both, it was a lot of just kind of feeling out my opponent and trying to figure out what they'd expect and react to that. It's a lot of fun. It has a couple of blaring holes, most notably in the form of Breloom, and Sableye, actually. Though, arguably, I lost to someone who led Sableye more due to me getting psyched out by the fact that they led Sableye and I picked the wrong lead than anything else. The only player of note that I played was Mosquito, round 6, I think it was, and you can see that match on Nugget Bridge. It was a lot of fun. It came down to be pretty close. I think I would have won if I didn't listen to some strange advice and put Hidden Power Fire on my Metagross instead of Earthquake, but that was just... It's not really worth kind of looking back, because I still... it was still my best regionals performance ever, so I'm really happy, and it did well enough in the International Challenge for me to get a couple CP, so I'm good. Now it's just... mostly gearing up. I'm going to try to remake it for the next International Challenge, and we'll see how it does.
All right. And that will bring us back to Shiloh. Do you remember yet?
Kind of. I'm still missing something. Let's see. I had Messpirit and Virizion because I'm me. I was using a variation of Dimson's Garchomp Rodham H thing, and then I had a Pasho Tyranitar and
Paso Tyranitar, yes.
Wait, Pasho?
Yeah, Pasho. That way I could switch into Rain and laugh at their muddy waters.
Oh.
What filler move do you have? Thunder Wave?
Actually no, I was running Fire Punch.
Man.
This is like humans
Thunder
thing.
Wave for a little while. I don't remember why it didn't work out. I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
That's alright. So how did you end up doing?
I got 13th. My 2 losses were one to this guy who, ironically, his name was also Evan, but not the Evan that you're thinking about. And I don't remember why I lost that one. But I lost. And then I lost...
There's a couple Evans people could be thinking about.
Oh.
Evan Falco, Evan Lat.
No, which one of those?
Okay.
He gave me a screen name, and it did not have the word Evan in it, and it didn't sound familiar at all.
Okay.
But and then I lost to Lucario Jr. because I made a very bad prediction first turn, and things would have gone very differently if I had done something else.
Okay. Well, I guess we can move on to metagame shifts, because I didn't actually see a great deal of the metagame from how my tournament ended up going, where I kept bouncing between good players and really crappy players because of how they kept messing with my actual, what's it called, standing?
Your record, yeah.
Yeah, my record leaped forward and backwards between just about every round.
So
It made
stupid.
no sense by the end. So, unless you all saw, like, a ton of Cincino, what was going on at regionals?
Dude, I love Cincino. That's so cool. I wish people would run more Cincino, because Cincino is awesome. But I was actually really weirded out / disappointed by the lack of rain. I prepared hard anti-rain, and then I did not battle a single rain team except for Lucario Jr.'s, and he went the Trick Room route. So.
I was preparing to
Rain
not
room.
face it either. I was like, or I was facing. Oh, sorry, I was preparing to not face it. Actually, I had the opposite thing happen. I ended up facing 3 teams with the Polytoad on them, and I handled each one pretty well. The one that did have a trick room option was the scariest at top 8, but other than that, I actually faced more rain than I thought I'd see.
I kind of sat on this delicate bubble where I had a 50-50 split between players who knew what they were doing and were familiar with the metagame, and players who knew what they were doing but just decided to run what they wanted anyways. So, like, most of the team, like, half the teams I saw were pretty much standard, have something to counter rain, have something to counter sand, have something to somewhat deal with Trick Room, but not really, so I could still beat them. And then I had a couple people who were like, oh, let's run Blastoise Ampharos as a lead because that sounds like fun, and actually did a lot more damage than I was anticipating. I still beat him, though.
Blastoise is underrated.
I think that Massachusetts was a bit too big to really see metagame shifts, though, because there's just so many people who run so many different things that you can't really make a generalization off of that.
Yeah, I agree. It was just kind of the same thing at Madison. It was just so hard to. I mean, you'd see like a Polytoad Kingdra right away, and then you'd be. I would think, okay, I need to stop those two, but then you kind of people tend to do that. They think, okay, standard rain, and then they categorize it, and then they completely miss the idea that there's 4 other Pokemon on this person's team. And I think that was huge for me the last game, where I was kind of going autopilot. I'm like, okay, I just need to win one more battle. I make top cut. This guy, I'm like, oh, look it's rain. I clicked buttons, I selected mountains, and then I realized that he had an Armaldo on his team, which is not something you just see every day. And I almost got completely just destroyed by Armaldo in the back. So Armaldo is pretty strong. It was kind of like the Bear Tick scenario, where it was like, oh gosh, he actually did this? And some sort of Swift Swim comes up, and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't expect that to actually do anything to me. And then it just comes out into left field.
It actually does have great coverage against a lot of your team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Armaldo, I mean, it took out Volcarona and Zapdos, the Rock Slide. It Bug Bite, took care of, it took care of T-Tar, took care of Amoonguss pretty well. Hitmontop was the only thing that was really stopping it.
Wow. Why don't I go and make an Armaldo team now?
I don't know, man.
Because Anorith is better?
Anorith.
Snap.
Violet Anorith. New meta.
You don't even need a Violet on it.
It's just Anorith.
It's faster than Armaldo, which is all you need.
And it beats Breloom, which we've seen 4 of at times.
Yeah, and it's the only Sunny Day user without Prankster that can still outspeed Kingdra and Rain.
It doesn't have to be
That's
Kingdra
good
and
to
Rain.
know.
It doesn't have to be Kingdra and Rain.
It doesn't?
It's really slow. It has 45 base speed.
I'm talking Anorith, not
Ooh.
Armaldo.
Anorith?
You don't even know what Anorith does, bro.
Yo, I do. Just not well. Damn, it has 75 base speed.
That's still not faster than a Kingdra.
It is.
It will if you go Jolly.
Or Jolly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Man, gotta go Anorith now.
Screw the leap. Let's all go Anorith.
Yeah, set up
I
Anorith.
really
I'm up for it.
pushed hard for Anorith on Dim's World's team last year.
Why did you go with it then?
And I eventually talked him into Ludicolo instead. Because he just was not taking Anorith.
Wow, I could see Swords Dance Anorith.
That would be funny. Beautiful
Yeah, you
world
can-
Banner.
It'll also outspeed Ludicolo, and you can one-shot it,
Yeah,
which is great.
Swords Dance Anorith.
Man, we're leaking all these secrets, guys. Keep this in the down low.
Seriously.
I don't keep any of my teams on the down low.
This is a good point. I think everybody could have, like, if they really wanted to, they could have just gone on PokeCheck and found everything but the Volcarona.
Yeah, no, the only difference between the Volcarona that is in the International Challenge and the Volcarona I ran at Regionals was Roost versus Quiver Dance.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's the only advantage of making your team the night before is that no one knows what you're doing.
Yep. But the problem is you don't know what you're doing either.
Minor details, minor details.
Look, if people want to know my team, they can just ask me. They're going to find it out anyways.
Yep. I mean, honestly, if you do that, if you don't know your own team, as they say, you can't beat stupid. So if you don't know what you're doing, I mean, you might as well just, play as dumb as possible, and hope that they didn't think as low as that.
Like my post on Nugget Bridge, right?
Yep.
Just
Make the dumb move.
just make a dumb move all the time. You go and surprise good players, and you beat bad players.
Yeah.
I forget the guy that got 8th at Fort Wayne. He made top 5. I don't remember where he actually finished, but he didn't know that Latios, or he thought that dragons were weak to rock, so he was constantly rock sliding Latios with his Tyranitar.
Oh, was this Fent? Is this the guy that I played that I had the absolutely awful team matchup against?
I don't remember his name.
Was he running straight up sand?
I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't know all his types or anything. He was just doing what he thought was right, which...
I guess the only person he played all day was me. I was the only person he played in Swiss that was actually knowing what they're doing. And he played a bunch of other people that fluked as well. And then he played me in Top Cut. He beat me in Swiss because he had a Landorus, a Terrakion, a T-Tar, and a Gliscor, and a Scarf Chandelure against a team with Jellicent, Metagross, T-Tar, and I couldn't touch him. He had Landorus, Gliscor, so my Hitmontop was useless. He had Acrobatics. I'm I couldn't beat that guy with what I had. No, Jellicent couldn't do anything because Scarf Chandelure took it out. He had Helping Hand on Terrakion. I have Tyranitar. He had Helping Hand Terrakion. He's going to either close combat my Scarftar, or he's going to it was the worst team matchup I ever had.
Go for some black magic and
that's what I did.
Black side flinch.
Oh no, I didn't go for the black. I didn't go for that. I just went for the. I led Top Moth against him game 2, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just play better. I'm just gonna completely mind game him into thinking, oh, I can rock slide all over this. Turn 1, he double rock slides. I protect the Volcarona in close combat as Mon, and he's like, oh, that was something I didn't expect. So the next game, after I took him out from there on out, the next game he probably expected me to do it again, so he protects the T-Tar this time, switches into Landorus, I call that, I faked out one of them, and I Quiver Danced, so that pretty much...
Why didn't he bring Chandelure?
He did bring Chandelure, I Sucker Punched it twice. And then he brought it in the back the second game.
I don't know what to say about this, but that's funny.
It is. It is pretty funny that I beat just straight up he had 4 Mons with the Rock Slide, and I beat him with Top Mon.